So yeah, tonight, Breakfall team is here. They're going to be talking about Fantastic Arcade and Starwhal and anything else. Yeah, and then I guess Win4 just doing a demo, and we're going to open the floor up if anyone's got stuff to show as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sweet, October.
So yeah, give it up for Breakfall. Guys, a couple of photos. Some of them are ones that we took, and some of them we just stole off the internet today for this presentation. So all rights to whoever took these photos. So just a quick story of what happened. So this was the Fantastic Festival. And the Fantastic Fest usually has a giant movie component to it, so it's a film festival primarily. So a lot of movie stars show up and do the world premieres for their photos, and it's usually genre stuff. So in this photo is
Machete.
Yeah, it's Machete's car.
Yeah.
For Machete Kills, which is like their sequel that's coming up. Anyway. So there's also now a brand new arcade component to this festival, which is cool because there's like a ton of indie guys that show up, and they choose 8 arcade games from throughout the world to make into actual arcade machines. So those are the spotlight. Yeah, so we actually brought home
got a chunk of our arcade machine, brought it home.
Yeah.
So they made this banner. It's actually lit up at the time, so
nice.
yeah, pretty sick.
That's the marquee at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where it was here. So I actually added a whole bunch of Twitter handles to everything that you see here, in case you guys feel like following some of the things.
Hashtag presentation.
So what's that? Oh, the thing. Is that cool or is that? Oh yeah, so the festival is run by Wiley Wiggins. He's also an actor and he's a game developer. He just recently starred in Computer Chess, which has an awesome poster. And he was in, what was
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. So a number of places. So he's just a really cool guy. He ran the festival. He's a really good game developer. So this is a shot of what it looked like at the arcade. This is just one section of the arcade. Starwhal on the right-hand side there. We're right next to Towerfall and Samurai Gun, which was pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. And one with the
Sure, yeah. Let's. We have a little flyby camera for the actual arcade itself. Where's that? This one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is vaguely what it looked like.
It was packed.
It was yeah, the photo we took was on the first day, but this is more when it was packed on the weekend. So there were tons of people just circulating around, trying all the cool games out, and it actually felt like an arcade. Really, like they did a great job. It was pretty amazing.
So the really big calling card of the Alamo Draft House is that it's a cinema that instead of having rows and rows of seats, they have a row of seats and then a row of like people that can walk by. And because the reason they did that is that you can order food at every single spot you sit in, and they have tables for every pair of seats. So in the middle of a movie or playing games, you can like write on your card you want a pizza, put it at the front of your table, and a little guy will like, shuffle by between the aisles and take your order. So it had a really neat vibe, and after coming to this cinema, I was like, I can't go back to normal cinemas, but I don't really have a choice. So I will go back to those.
You'll just bring your own pizza dough. I've done that.
Stuff in my pocket.
Mix my bag. Bring your own pizza oven and then eat at it.
There you go. There's another shot. Press pause. Oh god. Right click. There. And then now you can just press.
Are you guys doing questions at the end or now?
You guys can just throw
Who made all the machines?
Okay, so they, one of their, I can't remember.
Josh. Oh god.
I can't remember his last name. His name's Josh. He's apparently like pretty famous, I guess, in this regard. But Corey Schmitz did all of the graphic arts for the sides. We provided like vector arts for the concepts. And then Corey Schmitz, who's a very famous designer in the industry, he did all of the graphic arts for the sides. This is No Brakes Valet by Justin Smith, who also did EnviroBear, if you guys have ever played that. The really cool surprise I brought today is that Justin actually let me bring the Fantastic Arcade build of No Brakes Valet for everyone to play here. So that's pretty cool. So, he said he'd love for you guys to all to play it and to send back any feedback that people have on the game. Another thing that we saw was Choosatron. So this guy, Jerry Bellick, he had a machine, and we have the printouts here. He had a machine where you play choose your own adventure stories, and at any point you can press the numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4 to choose the next step in the story. And it's cool because you get to keep your story. And he's just so passionate about it that he made a Starwhal choose your own adventure. It was so nonsensical, it was amazing.
It's actually, I recommend reading them.
Yeah, so yeah, read these on your own time if you want. But you can check out Jerry at Choosatron. So that was really cool. You want to talk a little about?
Oh yeah, this was this game called Panoramical. You can kind of see what it looks like. The arcade cabinet actually has, like, it just has a bunch of sliders, like there's no buttons or like controller inputs, so it's sort of like a dynamic soundtrack generation slash visualization kind of. You can't even really call it a game. It's sort of kind of like Proteus in that way, that you just kind of go in, like get into a zone, and so the sliders control different layers of music, so like whatever bass and all that. So when you crank one up, it affects the environment, so you can do like, you can kind of progress from day to night, or it makes the things like the sprouts get larger or smaller. It's actually a really cool kind of.
Yeah, this was really relaxing.
I think it was the only game that had headphones there. It was like one of the games that really encouraged just sort of chilling out. Whereas the rest of us were all kind of more fun arcade games. This one felt like it was going in a different direction. And during the presentation, they got Phil Fish to go up and like DJ a set on the. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Felt like a sort of a progression there.
Also, Sony was in attendance. This is one contact I would write down if anybody's curious about talking to Sony. These are the guys who will get you in on doing development. So for either PlayStation 4 or Vita, Nick Sutner's the guy you would talk to. We've been talking to him for a while, and he's super nice guy. He showed up with a huge array of Vitas and indie games that they're putting out on Vita. And that was really cool because it kind of put indies at the forefront. There weren't a lot of like AAA big titles there. It was just cool indie titles to play.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of same, like the E3 presentation for PS4 this past summer, where they brought all the indies on the main stage, which is kind of unprecedented. Like, he was apparently one of the guys who kind of made a huge push for that and helped orchestrate it. And yeah, and like any questions we had, was super nice. So hit that guy up. Sure.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Sony and the way they do business is it's not sort of bureaucratical. It's sort of, you just say what you want out of the what you want to do with your game, and they kind of try to work with you on it. It's really like the easiest relationship you've ever seen. So
yeah, a couple of tips I guess he was giving us is that if you do get into a partnership with Sony, they give you a lot of stuff kind of for free, even if you're not necessarily exclusive with them. Like they'll help you a lot with publicity and resources. Like if you can make them offers, and they can do stuff like cover your Unity licenses apparently, and kind of get exposure.
We actually showed up trying to do a deal with Sony to do exclusivity and see what we could get out of it. And actually, they almost talked us out of it. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. We were like, oh, what can we get out of being exclusive for just your platform? And they were like, you know, you don't really have to do this. You can be on our platform and you get like all of this stuff. You get all this exposure. And we're like, okay, so we won't be exclusive.
Yeah, he was pretty much saying Unity support is on the way, and like you get to go on the PlayStation blog, like PlayStation YouTube channel, stuff like that. You get to go to all these shows, or like they'll bring your game builds to these shows, even if you're not exclusive. So
on the Unity side, pretty much everyone in this room is probably either using using Unity or has touched it at one point. Sony's Unity exporter will be ready February, and that's the beta release.
Well, that's what they are saying. That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. And however, Nick was telling us that you will be able to do master submissions with this release of Unity. I don't know if you believe that or not, but that's what they're projecting. Oh, anyway, this is JW from Glambeer. So they did Ridiculous Fishing, and they're working on Wasteland Kings, which got renamed to Nuclear Throne now. So the Glambeer guys were super cool. They were there and they did a game jam in 1 hour. So we all had presentations, and they did a presentation about Starwhal. They did a presentation on Nuclear Throne, but their presentation was just a game jam where they're like, okay guys, tell us what you want us to add to this game. And they just worked at the desk and talked to the crowd while they were adding this new enemy to the game. Which was super cool. One of the coolest things I've seen was the live stream. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So with Ridiculous Fishing, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's a mobile game. Did very, very well. Super successful. One of the things is that they got aped really fast. So they released the game and then it got copied very quickly. So their reaction to this, and this is debatable, nobody knows if this is going to work or not, but their reaction to this is to instead open all of their development. So now every hour that they work on this game is live streamed to the internet. All of them are live streaming their work at all times. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's their idea, is to sort of say, instead of locking down and not sharing anything, share everything. That way they know where it sort of comes from. At least that's the theory. This is just sort of just a quick shot of us watching the daily Spelunky challenge. So for anybody who plays Spelunky, it's super hard, but there's a daily challenge so that everybody plays the same one. And then they had people facing off, like they took the cinema screen, cut it in two, and two people could play at any time. And we saw some guy who's just like insanely good at it. This guy, your son, and he made it all the way to the end of the game. So that was fun.
It was good. They had tons of tournaments. Like every day was basically a different tournament. So they had Spelunky, they had Starwhal tournaments, and they had Towerfall as well. So it was pretty cool. And like most of those guys were there too, so we just kind of chat about it. Yeah.
Randy Smith is. You've probably read some Randy Smith stuff if you've ever read Edge magazine, and he's also done Spider, Bryce Mansion, and Waking Mars with Tiger Style. He's a super cool guy. And Adam Saltzman actually did Cannibal, and he also worked with the creator of Katamari and that sort of thing on a very, very small game, so I was super jealous of that. Yeah, so these guys were on hand, and they're super nice guys.
This was thing. Oh yeah, these are photos from the crazy after party that they had, which was like, it was just this massive area, and they had tons of crazy games like this weird alphabet game on the left is the one that Adam worked on, and when you get a lot of drunk people just jumping on like 4 TVR pads, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And Phil Fish was DJing.
Phil Fish DJed this.
So he hasn't entirely left the industry yet.
Yeah. This is also Yukio. He works with Glambeer as well, with Ridiculous Fishing and that sort of thing. And he helped with DJ, and he dressed up with this crazy mask and like crazy visuals and stuff like that during the party. And he also did live music for the theme song of Wasteland Kings during their talk. And this is a shot of us finally. We're playing Starwhal with Rami Ishmael and Phil Fish.
Who won?
This was a who won?
I think it was mostly us,
Yeah,
if not you.
I think I did. I was talking a lot of I was talking myself up quite a bit at my skills in Starwhal just to get people in there and playing because they wanted to take me down. But both Rami and Phil Fish they had great feedback on the game, which we were super happy about. In fact, Rami was like the only person who said something not negative, but like that what he would change about the game, because everyone else was like, no, it's great, just whatever. And we were like, no, tell us, like, what would you change, what would you do to this? And Rami had some great feedback on that, so
We were even trying to like get in stealth, like in between the stuff going on in like the indie theater stuff where this is all going on. Like we were going out to the arcade and trying to talk to people and being like, oh hey, what do you think of this game? Like trying to tell them, and before we tell them that we made it, try to get honest opinions. And like it was really cool just being able to talk to so many people, and like it really seems like everybody loves it. So we're super happy about that. It was like it's nice to just kind of get that kind of response to your game. So
we also learned quite a lot about what to change about the game by watching people come up to it and play it at an arcade machine and see like how long they spend with it, what they don't like right away, and then we were like, okay, this needs to change, that needs to change, and yeah, so good feedback.
Yeah.
Well, one of those things is like the ready up screen that we're gonna do.
So
the rules that we have are very complicated at first, and it scared away people. So we've been coming up with ways that you can just jump into the game with set rules.
We've got a sort of special game in that it's sort of almost meant to be in a public setting where you're at an arcade kind of thing, and at the same time we want people to buy it later in a home setting where they can set all the options. So for the arcade kind of setting, what we realize is that nobody is going to walk up and play the game unless it's in some sort of already playing state, or like two people are already playing it, or it's already moving and doing stuff. So we learn things about that by just watching it.
So lately we've been trying to strip things down. So we made like just a quick arcade mode setting in the game. So basically it removes like menus and options and stuff like that. Because one thing that we realized is that in an arcade setting like this, especially when you're not around to keep track of what's going on with the game, people are just going to play it for a couple minutes and then walk away. So if your game doesn't really have a way of like resetting the match or like kind of getting out of it, then people will walk into a game that's like halfway in progress and not know what's going on. So you kind of want to assume like,
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
Sorry. For the arcade mode, maybe do you guys have computer players?
We're working on those right now.
Okay, because I would say if the player's left idle for a certain amount of time, have the computer take over or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're trying to think about stuff sort of similar to that. Okay, so that's sort of the end of the Fantastic Arcade kind of talk. Before we talk just a tiny bit more about Starwhal, are there any questions that are like specific to Fantastic Arcade or anything about that?
How did you get involved in Fantastic Arcade?
I think it was Derek who actually said you guys should like send in an application to this, and so we did. And I think it was $10. Like that was the best $10 we've ever spent.
Yeah.
Like that's what my advice is to a lot of to everybody basically. Is just like spend the $100, the $10, whatever. Like if you believe in your game, just put it out there. And they actually paid for us to fly down. Like they paid our flight, they paid to go down, which was super cool of them.
It was actually shocking because we thought for $10 it would be like a pretty small event, but like we had like basically a shuttle ready to pick us up from the airport when we got there. So like it seems like they treat their guests pretty seriously.
Did you wear like the suits like Dumb and Dumber?
What's that?
The suits like Dumb and Dumber, you just like waffle like that.
I missed that.
Did everybody guess that? I don't think anybody got it. When they go to like that dance in Dumb and Dumber and they wear like the really nice orange suit and blue suit and the top hats. I understand you're under. You guys are terrible.
But you guys know that's Mark. He also works with us on Starwhal, so.
But I'm not part of Breakfall. I'm an independent contractor that they abuse.
So we were also asked to like maybe talk a tiny bit about where we are and where we're going with Starwhal. So we'll keep this really short because you guys see this like every friggin' month that this is on. So we're gonna.
That's awesome.
So right now we're talking to a couple of console platform people to put our game out on console platforms. We're also talking about PC and like how to get it out there. In terms of the actual game though, like changing the game, what's it going to be like, 6 months from now? It's a much harder thing to figure out. And the one thing we all agree upon as a team is that we don't want it to change too much, the core aspect of it, because it's so much fun just the way it is in terms of core mechanics. Having said that, we actually changed one mechanic very slightly today.
Are you guys going green later?
What's that?
Are you guys gonna try putting a game or not?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's something we need to figure out actually. Greenlight / Kickstarter. Maybe we should go to the next IGP meeting.
So that's something we're talking about right now. Yeah, it's Kickstarter. So yeah, we're hoping to figure that out soon. We've got like initial plans and everything, but it is really tricky to figure out the fine details about stretch goals or no stretch goals, or like do you announce all your platforms all at once, or do you only put them into stretch?
No stretch goals. You plan for the platforms anyways, and then you have your stretch goals as your platform.
That's what Jan wants to do. Yeah.
The other tricky thing is when you kickstart.
Yeah, that's bullshit stretch goals in my opinion.
I think hookers and cocaine as a goal.
I kind of like this one.
Cocaine party for sure. You have to have the one where $1,000 you get to come to the release party.
And we buy those and cocaine.
Can you still snap the top of the whale to hit the heart?
No, you can't. I think we should just take a page out of Mardy #9 Kickstarter and charge like $250,000 for a new game plus.
New game plus or boss rush.
No. We should have like a ridiculous stretch of like $1 million just for like a top hat. The top hat.
This is just a snapshot of our Trello today. Actually, a couple of the developers in here, we were even talking on Twitter last night, like what tools do you use to make the game, or like keep your lists and stuff like that. I'm all for just being open and talking about the process at all times. This is a snapshot of where we are right now.
It could be used.
So we have we set up a master checklist, and we keep track of what we're working on, what festivals we're going to. Yeah, so this is what we're using right now to keep track of everything.
What is it called, sorry?
It's called Trello.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
It's by the same guys that did it's by Jeff Apple. No, not Jeff. Whatever. The guy that works at Fog Creek. Yeah, Joel. Yeah, that's.
There. Thank you.
Yeah, Joel. Like the people at Fog Creek. This is a Fog Creek software.
Yeah, so this is a snapshot.
Yeah, you can see random stuff, like even Mike drew that diagram, talking about power-ups, and it was just a discussion that we had, but based on feedback and stuff from the fitness arcade, I think nobody really wanted that. They really appreciate the simplicity of having just left, right, and A to play the game. And actually even Phil Fish was saying that power-ups would keep track of the game.
Yep.
And then thinking about it, a lot of games that all of us are kind of into, like Samurai Gun, for example, power-ups are just a simple gameplay. You really simple to get into it.
Yeah, we played an updated copy of Samurai Gun there, and it's been months since we played the last copy. So you think he's added more, more, but it played almost identical, minus or added a couple of little points of flair here.
It cuts the hole in the end now, so when it does the black overlay, it cuts the hole so you don't lose where you are. That's basically the only difference I noticed.
But really, he's kept the game.
It's because he's too busy making bank on the hyper light drift.
He's doing really well. He's a very shy guy, I found out.
Yeah. He's super nice though. If you ask him.
Yeah. He's really.
Are you guys putting hats in the game?
Whoa! I think I said something about top hat.
So one thing we're working on right now, it's sort of kind of fluff. It doesn't affect gameplay, but is costumes. So we're gonna add just little pieces of costumes. They're not gonna be anything huge, but just to customize your narwhal. What's that? I'm thinking about that.
We can just add it to the death
Especially you
animation.
hit someone hard and I don't know, something in the head.
Kind of like something that doesn't do anything, but it's just you keep your technique hat on.
I would
sort of achieve.
I would go microtransactions, and if you lose your hat, you have to buy it again. You're like, my top hat is gone.
I like it. We actually,
You can buy 100 hats for $1.
Put them all on at once.
Hey, this isn't TFT.
we actually had a really funny idea. For anybody who's in the mobile space, you probably heard the term whale for big purchaser of downloadable content. We were actually thinking it'd be really funny if there was a $1,000 DLC that is a whale, and so the whale is buying the whale.
Does it have a horn? It's just useless.
No,
It
it's
just
just
flops
useless.
around.
It's just a whale that can't do it. It should be twice as big and twice as it just flops on the ground. It's just really big. The part is bigger. Yeah. Or just be really more vulnerable. Only like one of it.
If you win by suffocating the other people, you just flop down on them.
Yeah, no, that's all the stuff. Yeah, we're just trying to come up with little ideas. Like, I feel like maybe even signs and hats is an extra.
It's so in depth.
Have you thought about mutated narwhals with 2 teeth? Because that can happen.
See, they're like science.
Is that Phil Fish?
Phil Fish.
You'll actually go into like code.
For the record, Phil Fish was actually a really nice guy.
Everyone's always surprised to hear it.
He struck me as the kind of guy who's like, he would get super pissed off. Like, he's an artist type, so he would get sensitive and pissed off if you pushed his buttons like everyone else, right? So, but he's like a normal guy like everyone else, you know, so.
Rolling in the fence, buddy.
Rolling in that dope. Yeah. So, no, that's the only one I brought.
Wow, guys. You got enough folders over there?
Yeah, so.
Any other questions, maybe, or?
I just like as far as playing the build, do we want to do the rest of the presentations and then we'll throw Starwhal up after?
Yeah, we have No Briggs Ballet, and we have we brought about the Starwhal as well.
Yeah, let's save those and then we'll do questions now.
We're good? Oh, Louis.
If anyone like really wants to play Starwhal and help the charity, is there anything that like they could do? Okay. Hey guys, this Friday at Bitheads I'm doing a charity video game event. If you have a game to show, absolutely come. Please make it fun for the people who aren't sitting in the theater participating in the tournament. I'd love to have you all showing off your games and stuff. It's going to be $10 at the door. That gets you in for a raffle. I've got some download codes from some local mobile games, as well as some codes for Marvin's Mittens from these guys. And there's going to be a tournament of explosive gas and Starwhal for more codes to win. And if you show up with a game to show off, then it's going to be $5 at the door for you for helping out and making it awesome. And just bring your own hardware, you know, whatever, run your game. And we're going to hang out and eat some munchies and play some games and drink some beers and help out a charity. The charity is a local charity called Actua. They help out kids to go to STEM camps, like science, engineering, tech, math camps. They can't afford it. They put on programs in schools to sort of urge kids into those sorts of fields, and they put on programs in sort of at-risk areas. A lot of programs with Native Americans, a lot of programs for girls to get into the STEM fields. So that's the charity. That's the event. It's this Friday at Bitheads. That's on Carling and Maryvale.
At 7 p.m. Westgate.
7 p.m. Thank you. Yeah, it's the Westgate Mall. Essentially, it's side door by the
Where the Blockbuster used to be.
yeah, by where the Blockbuster used to be when people used to rent games. So yeah, I hope to see all you there for an awesome time and a lot of Starwhal and explosive gas, which is super fun
And only one will be there.
and I'm absolutely sure that only one will be there and playable in some form or other. Alright, that was that.
Nice.
Any other questions for Starwhal?
Maybe you guys already talked about this, but what happened to the arcade cabinet that they made for you guys?
Yeah. Well, they could burn it, but we got a chunk of it to bring back home.
I would demand
we
an
also
explosion.
They stole it.
Arcade with like the light behind it, so it actually looked like a legit arcade machine.
Do you know if they, sorry, follow up too. Do you know if they built them from scratch or they retrofitted older arcade machines?
They retrofit older.
They retrofit, but
They built them, but they repurposed
they're
them every year.
for every year.
Oh, cool.
So-
is this the first year that they've done them?
This is second year. Second year. But we also got to keep the vinyls from the side of the
nice.
cabinet. So
It's like a 6-foot tall arcade vinyl in the shape of like this thing.
So the plan right now is to construct a new Starwhal arcade machine in Ottawa.
Yes.
And then find a home for it. So that's our plan.
Your cousin was saying something about Monopoly Latte.
Pardon? We can, well, currently we've only got the cocktail Latatron, we've got the parts, and we want to make an upright one as well. But I've just been so lazy.
Oh, it's really hard.
No, I mean, like, no, it's not really that bad. It's maybe like 20, 40 hours of work. I just have to like get a spot and just do it. Like I need to mount a 26-inch TV inside this machine and build like a control panel, so, and I'm just lazy and busy for the past like at least 18 months. But,
And we've been having difficulty finding somewhere to put it.
but we'll have the cocktail. The cocktail one is good. It just needs to be placed. The upright one is going to be like it's only 2-player though, I think, is what we're going to set it up for. So if we build a third machine.
Our idea right now, well at least in theory, was make the arcade machine stand up and then ask Algonquin College if they want to have the machine. Because some of our people in Breakfall came from Algonquin, and it might be like a nice little thing like, hey guys, look what you could make.
You're gonna charge a quarter though.
Oh, like,
I got Climax. You guys need Climax. One of the things we want to do in our machine too is we want to put USB plugs in it so we could plug in controllers too. So we've got
great
controllers.
idea.
We'll look into that again.
Yeah, in the back.
That thing you said about Algonquin, when you got time after, I'd like to talk to you about that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, so we weren't able to bring the whole arcade machine back home, but they made this little
Oh.
trophy for us.
Nice.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That goes under trophy show.
No, you gotta light it
I was
up.
trying to make a one night. Especially now.
It's got Bluetooth.
No, it's left with the screen when you light inside. So
You guys know our cats. Nostalgia for something you've never known.
That's a little.
We can get some balsa wood.
Now it's one huge room.
Did you guys talk about the other
There used to be some Doritos.
Oh no, we forgot.
Yeah, that's what
So at MIGS this year,
Pretty much
there's an
dead.
after party. I don't know
Now
if
it's all
you guys
tattoo
are.
parlors.
I think we've just been.
Okay, so Prince of Arcade is going to be the after party at MIGS this year, which is in Montreal, and Starwhal is going to be there. And also
Montreal, Montreal, Game as well.
Game City?
Mount Royal.
Yeah. And it's also going to be in Toronto at Gamer Camp November 1st to 3rd. So it's also in
Game City.
in London,
Like next week?
England,
This week?
this week.
Tomorrow?
Well, they contacted us last time for some other event, and then I was like, I saw David Hayward talking about it on Twitter. I was like, "Do you guys need Starwhal?" And he's like, "Absolutely."
Did you guys take down your web build that you had hosted from the game jam last year? Is that
Still up.
It is still up. And are you considering leaving it up or taking it down? Do you guys have plans for that?
It's gonna stay up.
Rebuilding
The website is being rebuilt, and it's the demo.
Yeah.
The first page is you're not gonna go like if you go starwhal.com, it's like right there the game. What we're just gonna do is put a landing page first, and just like talks a little about Starwhal, show where it's been featured, and then they'll be like try the demo. So we'll just
Yeah, I would almost recommend limiting it.
Yeah, well, no, we're not gonna add anything.
Yeah, we don't add
We might just clean it up.
yeah. The build that's on there has been there since May, March.
No, it's since
We updated
the
it like once or
geyser?
twice.
We've updated it a few times.
Oh yeah.
We have that. We have the updated like the most current one that, well, on the website, and then there's also the Game Jam version. And then you'll realize how actually not as fun the Game Jam version was, because everything's just a little more sluggish. Everything's slow and it's hard to get it.
Have you thought about making motion control version?
That's
where you flap your arm.
No, we're aiming for Kinect integration.
Where you are the controller.
Yeah. Oculus Rift.
Or 2D games.
Look up and down and see lines. That's like where the orthographic feels other.
So we're basically talking about
Anybody else? Last chance.
Just come say hi to us after.
Narwhals
Yes.
stabbing each other in the heart. TV.
What's that?
Space narwhals.
Yes.
Do I still owe you?
You still owe me
Joust
$30.
for the
Sweet. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Round of applause. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Playing it
You all
from
know